the best episode number 15. I thought this one would be interesting because I'm not the hugest Metallica fan. So, I'm in my early 40s. Black Album came out when I was in high school. You were like, everybody who's into metal knows the first five albums forward and backwards and stuff like that. How does the rest of it rank? That's where I kind of like fell off from like load on. So I went back, re-listened to everything at work while I was at work because I work basically in a warehouse all day. So I got time to listen to music. So that's what this episode's all about. It's all about not the most hardcore fan, but although I've got most of the albums. The other ones I had to stream for this. I haven't seen Metallica yet in concert, although it took me up till maybe like 2 years ago to finally see Kiss. But I figure I got time. They're only in their late 50s. I still got another 10 years of them touring out there in order to get it in. But I'm going to try and get it on the next tour. I'll get them all crossed off my list. The other one was Rolling Stones, but they were like $200-300 a ticket. I ain't got that money. I guess I'm writing them off. So we're going to get into it. Metallica, where's the best? Let's go. All right, right off the bat, I forgot to number these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 12, Lulu. Come on. Of course it's Lulu. It's not even an official Metallica album. It's more like a Lou Reed album, but it's absolutely unlistenable. I didn't listen to the whole thing. It's 75 minutes. I skimmed through it, just like to hear what's going on. Like some of the riffs sound good, then you just hear Lou Reed, and the word caterwauling just comes to mind. When like old people like describe like rock and roll in like the 50s, people say, "Oh, that's just nothing but caterwauling." That's what that crap was. It's terrible. Forget it. We all know it stinks. So moving on. 3 albums here. I'm trying to go through this quick too. I didn't want to make this like a 25-minute video. This was the hardest part of my list right here. So, you think I'm going Saint Anger. These are the 3 I listened to at work all week preparing to make this list. These are the ones I didn't really listen to until like I heard them every time they came out. A friend of mine would play them, or I'd skim through them on like YouTube and stuff, but I never like sat and digested them. So I'm going with number 11. I'm going with Death Magnetic. Listened to it the past 3-4 days at work. Barely any of the songs I can remember. They don't really stick with me. Same with Hardwired to Self-Destruct. The one song I really liked, Lords of Summer. It's not even on the album. I got this the LP single. I actually made a fan edit of this. I put it on YouTube. I'll re-upload it too. What's the problem with all these collector's items? You don't even want to open them. You don't want to listen to them. You just want to leave them in the plastic and stuff. And I had the No Life Till Leather cassette that came out, and I was like, all right, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to listen to it. But it ended up just sitting on my shelf for like a year, and I ended up just selling it on eBay for like $20, $25. I think I paid like $10 for it, so I felt like, oh, I made a few dollars. But it's like, I know I felt like I had to pass that back on out into the universe because I was never going to listen to it, and it was just going to sit on my shelf. Unlike all the rest of the other crap I have in this channel of all my old toys and stuff. But like this is CD, tape, stuff like that. I'm fine with letting them go. Just like Lars said in some kind of monster video, the riff sounded stock. None of it really stuck with me. Like the Hardwired Self-Destruct, like the singles and stuff like that you heard. Moth to the Flame, stuff like that off Hardwired. Those two, they're 11 and 10. They didn't stick with me. I just can't get it. They're not bad. They're just too damn long. Metallica kind of from load on just had this we got to make 75, 80-minute long albums and stuff. But starts out okay. I was like, yeah, this is good. Just tiresome, and none of it really was able to digest. If I put them too low, well, what else am I putting ahead of them? I'm not putting Master of Puppets ahead of these stuff. The only one album you probably get mad at me for putting it ahead of, and that was Saint Anger, which did stick with me. Yeah, I heard it when it came out. I never bought it. I had to stream this. Saw Some Kind of Monster. I love that movie. It's the best, worst thing you've ever seen in your life. They do their best to make you not be a fan of them anymore. After the Napster stuff, after Some Kind of Monsters, like, it's really tough to still like be excited by Metallica. But that was one of the best document. Frantic, I like. So we're number 9 is gonna be Saint Anger. Frantic, I like. It's like everybody like disses it for the whole album for Lars's drum sound. Did they forget the bad lyrics? James's terrible singing, no solos. The whole album is just a perfect storm of this shouldn't have been, the thing that should not be. But it stuck with me. Like, what was that one? So Invisible Kid or whatever it was. That was some really bad singing. I remembered it. The album gets you involved. You want to look at like all the fan redos. I saw one where somebody redid the album, did new snares. They redid the guitars. The guitars sounded terrible on it too, but it's something different where, Hardwired to Self-Destruct and Death Magnetic, where they're trying to get back to their form, is just like, you sounded stock. Or here's what I don't get. You make an album that's 75 minutes long. I know you spent like years. They spend way too long making albums too. But if you got an album that's that long, cut off some of those songs. Wait till the re-release. You always get more excited when you hear songs that you weren't supposed to hear yet. Sometimes I know they added a few extra songs for like an EP for Death Magnetic and stuff like that, but say you cut off like 20 minutes worth of songs and then you put them on a re-release, you're more excited by that then. What you get left with initially is like an album that's just like, oh god, it's kind of like a slog to get through. Best albums ever. They're all under about 45 minutes long, except for The Wall. That was a double album. But come on. Cut out the songs. The Justice for All was a double record, and that was only like 65 minutes or something like that. Every album, that's like a short one now. The Black Album, it was only like 62 minutes. We didn't need 75 minutes of Lulu. We don't need 75 minutes of Death Magnetic. So that's my thoughts on this. Let's move this thing along. Let's move it along. All right, the next two. Reload. So what was that? Number 8 or whatever? Whatever. Count backwards. We're going to go Reload. Load and Reload are kind of like Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 from Guns N' Roses. I forget what's on the two because they came out like a year apart. So I'm trying to remember what was the one with Unforgiven 2, which a song I really do not like. That's Reload. Boom, that gets there. Most of the big singles were on Load, so of course that's going to be my one ahead of that. So that would have been 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Reload. Load was number 7. If you just took both of those albums, instead of making two 75-minute albums, and just did all the singles, like I think they should have did with Use Your Illusion, you would have had one really great album. But when it first came out, everybody was waiting for it. It took like 5 years to make the album. Everyone was all excited. That's kind of like a small gap in Metallica since then. We've got to wait like 8-9 years in between albums, it seems like. They just did all the hit singles on there. You would have had a really great album. It wouldn't have been as big as people were really disappointed by it. But I love Fuel, so that's on Reload. All right, you got one of the coolest album covers ever. Then you got, I mean, you're off to a bad start when you're releasing an album with this cover. Seriously. We know what that is. It's blood and jizz. If you didn't know, now you know. Reload had some more on there too. I mean, this album cover, you can barely see the little snake on there, and I thought my tape was like a misprint or something, but no, it was purposely, because you can barely see Metallica in there. But it's still a better album cover than this junk. It was an uphill climb. Like you have like a picture in your head. You know this is just awesome sounding metal, and you're like the wheelchair flying around through hell. So it kind of puts a mood in your head beforehand. This was like, ooh, that's gross. And then the music kind of is like, you got to sell me a little harder on that. That also said, what was that name of that song? I really said, I hate the Mama Said. I don't like that song. Ain't My Bitch I like. That's a good song. That's a good song. I love Hero of the Day. That's a good. King Nothing. King Nothing was good too. So most people probably going to count the next one, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6, Garage Days or Garage Inc. I'm going with just Garage Days, the EP. We don't need like the reissue with all the other more songs. The ones everybody knows, like Last Caress and Crash Course and Brain Surgery, stuff like that. I remember this album was kind of hard to find back in the day. It was out of print pretty quick. Guy I knew had it, guy I used to jam with, and he thought all those songs were Metallica songs. He didn't know they were cover songs, so that's why you got to consider that it's, of course, it's like an essential album. The newer version where they got like, you know, Motorhead songs and stuff that was B-sides and covers and stuff like that. It's not essential. The original 598 EP, that's like essential Metallica stuff because they played a lot of that stuff in concert, Diamond Head stuff like that. So let's go back to my list here. All right, here's another one I was really fighting with myself over where to put Injustice for All. I got it at number 5. I got a soft spot for Injustice for All. I got Ride the Lightning and Justice for All, the first 2 Metallica albums I got. The Black Album just came out, and everybody's talking about Metallica at school like this. This was what, like 9th grade or whatever. And I took them from my brother. And I was listening to those because I think the only Enter Sandman was out, and I think that the single was Nothing Else Matters was the next single out. I was listening. I didn't get the tape yet, but the only tapes in the house, I went and got, you know, my brother's Metallica albums. I was listening to those. So I love Blackened. I love Harvester of Sorrow. I love One. But could I put it above Master of Puppets? Could I put it above Kill 'Em All, which albums I got later? No. Actually, I forgot to show. I have Reload and Load, and I think I sat on this one, my Master of Puppets, but here's my Injustice for All. I could not put, I got this later. My tape is like some scratched up, the clear tape with the black on the inside. Yeah, I dug them out. Here's my original tapes. Black Album. Never had the cover for this. So you can tell I took it from my family. And then my original Ride the Lightning. I love the old white tapes. They're always awesome. Big upset. I put Master of Puppets at number 4. I was trying to debate. It's like, Justice for All, I don't listen to it all the time, but I really like the album, so I don't remember every bit, every transition. It's always a little bit fresh to me. It's like, yeah, that part again. You know, always got to refresh my brain. This album, you know, everybody knows forwards and backwards. Everybody knows Battery. Everybody knows Master Puppets. I love The Thing That Should Not Be. I love that song. So when I was replaying them, I was replaying in my car. I went out for a car ride, and it's like, well, then where's Kill 'Em All? It's like, Kill 'Em All is number 3. Kill 'Em All I had more fun listening to the master of puppets. This album just, every song is ridiculously fun and heavy and metal and just puts a smile on my face. So that's going at number 3. So anybody who, number 2 is going to be Black Album. Anybody who disses this album, they're just being a contrarian. Seriously. Oh, that's when they sold out. No, they sold out with like Load and Reload. Enter Sandman is Stone Cold classic. This is like some of the best hard rock songs ever written. Ever written. Sad but true. That's maybe top 3 favorite Metallica song ever. All my favorite stuff's on going to be on number 1. If you don't know what it is yet, you ain't been paying attention. Wherever I'm wrong, I'm sick of. They played the crap out of that video back in the day, and I haven't seen the video in 25 years. I'm still all played out on it. Through the Never I Loved. Nothing Else Matters I don't need to hear anymore either. This album's so good it's got played out songs. I don't need to hear some of those songs ever again. So number 1, Ride the Lightning. This is like my first real thing with Metallica. I don't even think I saw the videos from it. I just remember all the kids at school talking about it. And then I got this, started listening to this thing. I got, mine's the white Electra tape. That's somewhere in this house. Fight Fire, Wit Fire. I remember hearing that. That blew my mind. I love Creeping Death. I think that's my favorite Metallica song, Creeping Death. That or For Whom the Bell Tolls. I used to have the glow-in-the-dark Ride the Lightning shirt, too. The one, the electric chair was on your back, and they would glow in the dark. I didn't know that, and I remember hanging out back in the day in high school, and it was dark out at night, and then my friend's like, hey, man, your shirt's glowing in the dark. I'm like, whoa, cool. They must still sell that one, right? I gotta find that one. I'm gonna look that one up on their website or something. That shirt was a classic. I just want to do this list quick. I'm not the biggest Metallica fan, but I want to do this. I keep thinking this is the last video, but I already did a preliminary list of Iron Maiden. I just got to go back, re-listen to it again, redigest some of the stuff again. I did a whole bunch of other worst to best. Check them out. If you want to comment, be nice. This is my list. This ain't your list. This ain't definitive list. Cool out. Chill out. I like to hear your comments. I like to hear the controversial picks, too. If you got like Saint Anger number 1, I want to hear about that. Leave that in the commentary sections. Those are always fun. Yeah, I left out. Metallica's got like no greatest hits, so I didn't want to do the live albums because they're like symphony ones, stuff like that. I'm not really into those. But thank you for watching. Party on. Thought I was going bald, but my hair's looking pretty thick since I grew it out a bit. Hell yeah.